All right. Hello, 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 and welcome to WILSHOCKER's documentation of Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to be doing all of the sub-story and side quests, or sorry, main story and side quests. So this is going to be a long project. I want to get this, all of it documented. I'm going to be quiet for the cutscene here. I'm really excited to get this started here.
Here. Here. Feel. Here. Feel. Think.
Oi, you all right, lad? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Rolling of the ship got your stomach churning, has it? Don't seem like seasickness now that I look at you. It'll be the ether then, I reckon. Some are more sensitive to the stuff than others, see, and we ain't too far from Vilbrand now, which is chock full of etherites. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Whoa. Yeah, might as well have been blooming seasickness. Ship's leaping around like a demented chocobo today. I reckon I might head out on deck, get myself a breath of fresh air. Limsa Laminza is still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how's about you keep me company till we get there? Them young'uns don't care much for conversation, see? Any road, Brennan's the name, and Penlin's betrayed. Nice to meet you, Brennan. So yeah, I'm going to be documenting 100% completion of Final Fantasy XIV. This is kind of something I wanted to do because I want to learn the lore of this game, because there's a lot, and it was too much for me my first playthrough, and hopefully I'll get more of the smaller details in this playthrough. Ah, smell that sea salty breeze. Now then, lad, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you were one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? That's right, I am an adventurer. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Let's see, what was it? I'm gonna say ... Well, if you ain't inclined to tell, I ain't about to pry. Might as well. Might be, as old Brennan's a chatterbox, but he sure as hell ain't no busybody. We all have a secret or three, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stayed secret too, which is why I don't go sticking me nose where it ain't welcome. Just remember though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit being dead, and that's a fact. So nice of him to have concern for my life. Watch out! Pirates! Whoa! Ship's off the starboard bow! Pirate colors! Pirates! Bloody hells! Have you no sense? Get below! Oh, we're safe now. Great. What is the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying Leminson colors. Bastards either have a boatload of balls or bugger all for brains. You can rest easy, friends. We made it out of cannon range, and no Buccaneer's bark will catch this flighty temptress once the wind's in her tails. That was too bleeding close. Glad one of us kept his head on his shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. If them pirates gave up on the chase, we must be close to port. Let's head up on deck and have a look, shall we? Yeah, let's get to Limsa Laminza. By the by, is this your first trip to Limsa Laminza? Nope. Thought not. But I'll wager there have been some changes since your last visit. Allow a journey itinerant to apprise you of the current state of affairs. Limsa Laminza prides itself on being Eorzea's foremost naval power. Weren't too long ago that the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilizing influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You'd never guess she was once a rum-swilling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folk ain't so quick to change, and with the town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you can imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she's got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if that weren't bad enough, I've heard the Sahajin are raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them are the sea-dwelling beastmen the locals call fishbacks, in case you didn't know. Ah, long last. Land ho! Behold, Limsa Laminza, a nation blessed by the ocean's bounty and beloved of Limelian, goddess of navigation. Limelian. I think I have that written down. I want to write down things. My notes. 2025, 2025 notes. Here we are. Limlane is the deity of Limsa Laminza. Okay, great. Wonderful. Off to a good start.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Rotano Sea, lies the maritime city-state of Limsa Lominsa. To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer. Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Lim Lane. What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
Welcome to Limsa Limenza, my favorite city. And here's where we part ways, son. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, and then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for saving me arse earlier. What is it? Oh, a hand. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square. All right, Brennan. I'm sure I'll see you
Through peril
again.
and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on his life's voyage.
Wonderful.
Till sea swallows all.
Till sea swallows all. What is dead may never die. Final Fantasy XIV. No, you did not need to see the other 13. I'm sorry. Hey, you there! I mean you. This is my district, and I make it my business to know all the scum that washes up in it. An adventurer fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow one of Linzo Lemin's finest to set you on the right path. Hop to it, lad. I haven't got all day. Alright. I got a couple things I need to do with my UI. We'll make this quick. Control schemes, go to your mouse keyboard. Wonderful. Thank you. Close, close, character configuration, legacy type, apply. Let's HUD layout, show that, save, keybind. All this looks good. Shortcuts, character. That, gear sets. Currency, that's fine. Armory inventory. Armory quest. Control I. Okay, that's gonna be that. Hotbar 3, slot 1. Let's just give Q, E, R, T. No, let's do V X C B. Apply that. Let's put sprint on B. There we go. That'll work for now. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Limsa, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. I see. Now that I'm sure you're itching to explore, but adventurers are required to register their presence in the city. And without a bit of local knowledge, you're like to get your throat slit in some piss-stinking alley. So before you do anything else, get yourself to the Drowning Wench and enroll with the Adventurers Guild. It's not far. Just straight down this street and speak with Griffar. He'll show you how to work that big moving platform we call Crow's Lift, and that'll take you up to the pub. Once you're there, look for a fellow by the name of Batteron. He's the proprietor of the Wench. He might curse like an ale-sodden sailor, but the man's got a soft spot for wide-eyed newcomers like yourself. He'll set you straight. Got all that? Good. Now run along and may the navigator guide you on your journey. Thanks, navigator. Initiating quests. I have begun a quest. Use the duty list, whatever. Shut up. There we go. Cannot be used here. Okay. Welcome to Limsa Laminza. If you mind to visit the Drowning Wench, the Crow's Lift will take you there. Let's go. Do. Greetings to you, lad. What'll it be? Ah, but you ain't here for a drink, are you? You've come with a mind to try your hand adventuring, I reckon. Well, you'll find no shortage of work here in Limsa. The name's Batteron. Ain't this this most hospitable of hostelries is the Drowning Wench. This guy talks with such an accent. 'Tis also the home of the Adventurers Guild here in Limsa. That's why we've got a desk specially for Andalin Guild business, and why I seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting the throats of me regulars. Venturers have a knack for finding trouble, see? Not that they need it in these parts on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get you instead. And if they don't manage, there's always the Garlean Empire to finish the job. No one knows what they're planning, of course, but if they're planning anything, you can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. Aye, this town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again and you'll see a people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eorzea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our homes weren't the only things what got wiped off the face of existence by that thrice-damned bastard of a dragon. It took our bleeding memories, too, and no one's been able to explain it in a way that makes an ounce of sense. None of the folks what saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. It's all foggy, like recollections from an hard night on the ale. You can imagine why people might fear the future if they can't rightly recall the past. But there is one thing we all remember, and that's the group of adventurers who laid down their lives to drag Eorzea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Well, I say we remember. Truth is, though we ain't forgotten what they did for us, this god's damned calamity spawned memory loss, robbed us of their names. He won't even let us picture their damn faces. This is like staring at a gull flying in front of the sun. All you see in your mind's eye is a shadow set against a blinding glare. And that's how every bugger describes it, by the way. Give or take the odd gull. It's this what's got people calling these heroes the warriors of light. If Livza's ever going to put this time of darkness behind it, it's going to need adventurers to help banish the fear. It's going to need new heroes like the ones we lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them. And that's why any aid we can give to a venturer is effort well spent. What say you, lad? You willing to lend us your strength? Yes, I am. Me thanks to you, and to the navigator and all. I knew she'd steered you my way for a reason. Ah, but listen to me yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis high time we got ye mark in my book. Put your scrawl right there. Time to sign my name, WILSHOCKER. WILSHOCKER, is it? And a fine name it is. Congratulations. You're now an upstanding member of the Venturers Guild. You there, adventurer. You sailed in on the last ferry, did you not? The captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching your description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Setting your friend's signals, were you? Now hold on just a minute there, officer. You've got the wrong bloke. This fine upstanding young gent is me dear departed grandma's sister's niece's cousin's closest companion. The lad wouldn't be caught dead fraternizing with some unsavory elements. Is that right? Huh. You're surely aware of the recent kidnappings? Respectfully, then, we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at a time when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. Aye, you make a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I keep one eye open at all times, me and two more often than not. Oh, I keep one eye open at all times, me, and two more often than not. Now, sir, what say you to a tankard on me finest ale before you return to your duties, eh? Not a watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. Ain't got the faintest idea what you're on about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grogs this side of the Strait in Merlthor, but that doesn't mean it won't get you good and pickled. And look, there's a chair over there just crying out to be sat on, so kick off them heavy boots, eh? Yeah, whatever, fine. You'll have to excuse these eager, bloody yellow jackets. There's been a spat of kidnapping, see, and they ain't got a clue who's behind them. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means venturers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else in this town. Don't take it personal, though. Us Lemenzans can be a headstrong bunch of bastards, 'tis true, but given time, we'll grow on you. Now, where was I? Oh, aye. Welcome to Liza Lemenza, where the sea's as green as the faces of me patrons after a few too many black belly whiskeys. Now take a moment to gather your wits, and we'll get started with learning you the ways of the city. Wow, that was a lot. This concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken your first step as an adventurer in the city of Liza Lemenza. Listen well to the wisdom of Batter on Ten Fingers and go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. Ba 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 ba! Right then. Let's start you off nice and easy with 3 tasks what'll help you get used to life here in Livza. Firstly, if you head down a floor and point your nose out to the west, you'll get an eyeful of the great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetheryte, a device what can move you from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetheryte where you want to go, of course. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard down there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on the workings of the device. Before you do that, though, Remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work till you have. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons and armor and all your venture in bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the Aetheryte. Don't go throwing your gil around just yet, though, or you'll get fleeced quicker than you can say, "Why's me coin purse so light?" Have a word with Soulsblight instead. Ease the ed of the Merchants League, by the way. Give him this old octant, and he'll treat you well. For the last of me helpful hints, I suggest you meet some of the fellow axe wielders at the Marauders Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few new tricks for swinging that head splitter of yours if you join their crew. Blototha at the front desk is the one to get you started. Got all that, lad? Seeing to them 3 tasks will take you on a little jaunt around the city and help you work out wherever it is. Now I'd best be getting on. Run along, eh? Bugger it. There I go sending you off without telling you somewhat crucial. That bloody calamity's made a right mess of me memory, I swear. Well, that or the ale. Any road. While you're out, if you happen to pass any poor sods what look like they might need your help, consider giving them their tale of woe listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I admit, but you never know what interests and opportunities could be lurking out there, just waiting for you to stumble on them. For example, Ninia over yonder has been casting glances at you since you waltzed in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say? You find yourself running on errands in the beginning, but once you build a reputation as a man folk can trust, the jobs will get harder and the rewards more generous. If you've the time, I'd also ask the advice of the smith here and the wench. The lads as bear that title have some fine advice for them what are just starting out in the profession. And that, my lad, is how you go about becoming a legend among venturers. It's such a thick text. It's so thick. It's very rare to run into text this thick. It's like every other word needs to be parsed. Anyway. Whew. Well, would you look at this? A shiny new adventurer. Listen close, lad. I have some information that might just help you out on the map here in Limsa. I was passing through Bulwark Hall below not long ago and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered about on the ground. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as dream flowers. Limsa Laminza is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow in across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How the plants end up in the mizzenmast, who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is you make a name for yourself by handing them in. Speak to Skainroll, and she'll get you down on the first floor. Then all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take them to Adolskiv at the Octant. Being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shady goods. Wonderful. You wish to visit Bulwark Hall below? The crow's lift is ready where you are. The crow's lift is ready when you are. Thank you. Oh boy. This is giving my reading a workout. That's for sure. And I need it too, because I don't read enough. Pick up these peculiar herbs. Nice little introduction to collecting stuff in the game. Adolskiv. Yes, I am Adolskiv. You have some herbs you wish me to examine? Hand over. Yes, as you suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They are the prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. Forgive me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are not more than an Altic lavender, a common enough export from Limenza. In fact, these probably spilled from crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone has been having a bit of fun with you, son. But no worry, you've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. Great. By way of thanks for delivering my scattered lavender, I have a nugget of information that may prove useful to you. You see, I was recently approached by an unkept seafarer, which is not, I admit, particularly unusual for a man in my profession. What was unusual was that he offered a generous sum of gil to be introduced to any adventurers I might know. In my experience, sailors are not known to carry such a wealth of coin about their person, especially with the alehouses of Limenza so close at hand. Kidnappings have not been uncommon these past moons. I suggest you take this information and speak with Glasriel, a guard who stands at the entrance to East Hawker's Alley. It never hurts to show his spirit It never hurts to show a spirit of cooperation to the authorities, lad. Yeah, this is some thick reading. Whew! Attuned to the aetheryte. Give me a break. Ah, another novice adventurer. Baderon has sent more than a few of your kind this way of late. I am Sundimal, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Aetherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune himself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. The Aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I will be here to answer your questions. Return learned. I can now cast the return spell. Oh boy. Great. Okay, moving on. Excuse me, sir, but might you have a moment or two to spare? You seem the type who enjoys being accosted for menial tasks, and I require someone to make a delivery to the dutiful sisters of Edelweiss. I wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't heard of them. The sisters prefer not to advertise their presence here in Limenza. They do, however, provide a rather unique service of which the Bergère Consortium has recently been the beneficiary. I would have you deliver this package to the doorman, Loneward, along with our profuse gratitude. Great. Sure. Sweetnix is beauteous, gobby, and crafty smart trade maker. Sweetnix makes busy deal with uplanders. Need deliver a letter to Gate of Molvan, but Sweetnix has shiver shakes. Uplander walks to Gate of Milvain for Sweetnix. Uplander delivers letter to tax lady Pashaja. Great, thanks. That is disturbing news. Your initiative is appreciated, adventurer. I'll have the captain place the Yellow Jackets on high alert. Yeah, and while I have your ear, I need you to visit Fridwib. What is with these names, man? And tell her the same thing you told me. You'll find her a bit further down East Talker's Alley. Fridwib has frequent dealings with adventurers, so any warning you give her should soon spread through the city. Okay. I don't remember what quest that was about. I'm gonna do the other optional stuff first. Fridwib. Greetings, sir. Might I interest you in the services of a retainer? What's this? Some suspicious seafarers on the prowl for gullible adventurers? A possible suspect in the recent kidnappings, you think? Well, I'll be sure to pass on that warning to my customers. What's with all these merchants and travelers milling through Hawker's Alley? These kinds of unsavory activities can often go unnoticed. Oh, never mind. In any case, I promise to keep a sharp lookout for anyone being accosted by strange-looking sailors. Thank you. Wonderful. Da 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 da. Lots to do, lots to do. Ethernet shard. Yes, please. Give me this. Attunement. Wonderful. Do 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 do. And another one. Where is Sweetnix with those import records? Without the proper documentation, I'm afraid we shall have to expel him from the city. Why, these are Sweetnix's records! Glad I am to see they were submitted in time. Honestly, you would think that goblin would have lost his fear of our offices by now. Every month he is to submit these papers, and every month his tardiness forces me to consider his removal. As long as one follows proper procedure, Limsa Liminsa is quite welcoming of foreign traders. Pray convey these words to Sweetnix. Perhaps it will aid in soothing the poor goblin's fears. I have to go back. Okay. Here at Malvan's Gate, we inspect all the goods that are imported into Limsa Liminsa and collect duty as the law requires. Some merchants, however, seek to evade this obligation, and we must chase them down. I would be grateful to you if you could deliver these 2 ledgers, one to a man named Sundimal, whom you will find at the Octant, and the other to a woman named Letitia, who works at the Bismarck. If you are uncertain as to the whereabouts of the Bismarck, ask Sundimal when you meet him, and he will point you in the right direction. Wonderful. Do a lot more running around here for a bit. Examine the people. Perfect. A fine evening to you, sir. Welcome to the most replete marketplace in the grand realm of Eorzea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all 4 corners of the world. Pray browse the stalls until your eyeballs ache from ogling the overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo, but recently arrived at the docks. You bear a gift from Baderon? Whatever could it... Ah, my octant. By the navigator, I must have left it behind in the wench, along with a week's pay and several bells worth of intoxicated memories. Lovely. I am most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid, and what better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? If it is simple and sturdy adventure and equipment you seek, you need look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each gil you invest in arms and armor will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying that Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specializing in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. Within but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply all your potion and perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during their sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the type and price of the goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light or your time is short. Wonderful. But the verbal instructor of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. Thank you. Yes, once you stop talking, I'm sure I might. I have work for you. I would have you pose as a customer and survey the market's current prices. You did not see the bulk at so simple a task? All you need to do is strike up a conversation with the shop owners and glance over their wares. There are 3 merchants that interest me: Iron Thunder, Kyokaroon, and Sina Hill. Write down all you see on this price list and hand it to Bineswig on West Hawker's Alley. He shall reward you for your service. Write down everything that they're selling? Are you kidding me? No way. Only have 100 gil. A fine evening to you, sir. What can I interest you in? What can I... Well, you seem interested in most everything, don't you? Is this another one of those investigations? Well, I have nothing to hide. Wonderful. You're the one that made a list for Slog's Blade? Let's have it then. Nothing's wrong with the markets, as far as I can tell. You oftentimes get pirates selling stolen goods at cutthroat prices, and that drives the numbers down right across Hawker's Alley. Thanks to these reports, though, we can tell at a glance when shady dealings are taking place. Good work, lad. Wonderful. Now let's move on. Uplander delivered letter to Gate of Malvine. Uplander has wide heart and swift legs. Tax Lady Pajah has kind backwards for Sweetnix. Sweetnix has outflow of joy for Tax Lady Pajah. Sweetnix is happy gobby. Gives Uplander jingly shine. Thanks. 100 gil. Wonderful. Da, 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 da. Okay, now we're gonna go upstairs. Oh, just not yet. Sundimal. A ledger from Melvin's Gate, you say? Yet more outstanding duty payments. When will those merchants ever learn? Very well, if I catch sight of any offenders, I shall drag them to the gate, kicking and screaming if needs be. One more ledger bound for the Bismarck, you say? Follow this path to the upper decks and you'll find the place. Alright, fair enough. Beg your pardons, good sir, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I realize this is sudden, but we urgently need help restocking our larders. We're in the midst of preparing a full-course meal for soon-arriving guests, but I fear we're short on fresh lamb for the main course. I would be grateful if you could procure 4 slices for us. I dare say it would be quickest to obtain these directly from the source, wild lambs. In case you are unfamiliar with the creatures, I suggest you speak with Albafar, a sentry stationed in Bulwark Hall just below the Drowning Wrench. I keep saying wrench instead of wench, but you know, they look the same. Tax evaders among our patrons, you say? Goodness me. I dare say this may well put an end to their appetite, but this is in the best interest of the city-state. If any of the merchants named in this ledger come to dine with us, I shall see that Melvin's Gate is notified without delay. We spare no effort to ensure that all our patrons enjoy the finest food and hospitality. And so it is doubly harmful doubly harmful when someone decides to leave without settling the bill. Nary a bell ago, a first-time patron did just that. Rusujmo is the one who lovingly prepared the man's meal. She's quite upset by the whole affair and has taken it upon herself to draw an illustration of the offender. Might I trouble you to deliver it to the Yellow Jackets on our behalf? Rusujmo should be done adding the finishing touches by now. Ah, somebody stole food! Lovely. Wait, where's the etherite? It's just out here. Need that. Give me that. A tuning! A tuning to the etherite, yes. I can't wait to get new clothes. I know it's gonna look shoddy at first, but, you know, fashion. Grr. I poured my heart and soul into that grilled dodo. If I ever get my hands on that scoundrel, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Here it is, my rendition of the criminal. Please deliver it to Godabird at the Coral Tower. He'll know what to do. Alright, let's deliver this picture. This illustration. And let's pick up this next objective. You want for coin, venturer? How'd you fancy working for the Kraken Arms, one of the greatest parting crews in Limsa? If you're interested, take yourself up these here steps to the balcony above and talk to Carvalane, our captain. Do right by him and he'll do right by ye. Greetings, friend, and welcome to the Seventh Sage, purveyors of the finest spices from the East. All of our products are guaranteed obtained through completely legal means. Oh, you do not seek spices but employment? Well then, let us speak of how you might be of service to our organization. Our Misery returned from her latest voyage bearing exotic spices never seen before in Eorzea. I have prepared 2 samplers, each of which I would have you delivered to certain individuals. The first is for Grenade, whom you will find at the Coral Tower. The second is for Master Ligzath, the head chief of the Bismarck. And do make certain the right person gets the right set. Go now and return here once you have accomplished the task. They must have written that quest before they realized that they weren't going to code it that way. Like I haven't needed to write down any prices, and I don't need to remember which ingredient goes to which person. So it's a little funny. Because if I open my inventory here, it just says 2 bags, and there's no distinguishing between the 2 of them. Welcome to the headquarters of the Yellow Jackets, the keepers of the peace in Limsa. Is there aught I can assist you with? Here's a bag of spice from the captain of the ship. A sample of spice courtesy of the 7th Sage, you say? There's no mistake. This is fire sand, and the kind used by Garleans besides. Quite intriguing. Very well, we will consider placing an order. Oh? You thought that you had brought me spice? I see you're not familiar with Carvalianisms. For the sake of convenience, he uses the word spice to refer to literally anything he has procured on the high seas. Lest you worry, the man isn't engaged in any activity that is considered piracy. Far from it. Think of him as a trader, a heavily armed one, who represents Limin's interests in eastern lands. Lovely. An alarming number of citizens have gone missing of late, though I suspect you've already heard the rumors. It is essential that we ascertain their safety. To this end, I have prepared a list based on reports from our citizens. Would you be so kind as to deliver to my colleague in Bulwark Hall? The Dalika is her name. My thanks in advance, friend. Wonderful. Bilker at the Bismarck, and you have an artist's rendition of the man? Yes, here's the rendition. What in the 7 hells is this supposed to be? It looks more like a prow of a ship than a man's face. Look, we would like nothing more than to bring the offender to justice. 'Tis our duty after all. However, we will need a bit more to go on than this piece of art. It would be easiest for all involved if Rasusmo were here to come and answer some questions. Please relay to her as much. Thank you. Ho there, adventurer. Curious about the Marauders Guild, are ya? Any axe worth swinging needs 2 hands on the haft and has a blade what can make short work of a galley's mast. That's the kind of weapon our members train with to use with deceptive swiftness and all too predictable force. Are you interested in hearing more, lad? Then why don't I give you the short version of the guild's founding history and we can go from there. Okay, time for the history of the pirates. Oh, this is exhausting. It all started with ships, you see. What have ships got to do with axes, you ask? Well, building them would be pretty bloody difficult without a sturdy tool to lop down trees for timber. And since only the navigator herself knows when a ship will run afoul of a storm or worse, it makes sense for the crew's carpenter to carry an axe on board. Aye, it all started with shipbuilding and ship repair. What, am I boring ya? Huh. As I was saying, any tool on a ship can become a weapon, and the axe was perfect for hooking yourself over the rail of an enemy vessel, letting loose in a whirl of steel, and generally laying waste to all about ya. As more seafarers took up the axe as their weapon of choice, so did the bloody art of the marauder begin to take shape, especially among pirates, where strength and skill decided your place in the world. With an eye to assembling crews of battle-ready raiders, the pirates started teaching the proper way to wield a chopping blade to their new recruits, and that's how the Marauders Guild first came to be. But once the Galodian Accord was signed to unite the Maelstrom and the pirates against Limsa's enemies, the whole game changed. The Accord itself was a dismal failure, of course, but the Marauders Guild was never the same. It was taken over, restructured, and purged of its pirate elements. It had been reborn as an institution dedicated to naught but the teaching of axe fighting. The members of the new Marauders Guild weren't no greed-driven cutthroats neither. They were warriors what sought to use their martial prowess for the good of society. If mastering the axe is your heart's desire, then you'll find no better arena in which to practice your swings. Think it over, then let me know if you fancy joining our ranks. I have a feeling I'll be seeing more of you soon, lad. Yes, I will be a marauder. You've decided to swing an axe with the Marauders, then? Hell yeah! Alright then. All that needs doing is now to speak with the Axe Master himself. Sounds simple. I've seen folks slink down the door rather than put themselves in the path of that unnerving glare. That's the bloke right there in the middle of the room. Wernzowen's his name. Put some steel in your spine and look him straight in the eye when you talk to him, lad. Good fortune to you. Ba ba da ba ba ba. Woo. Yes, I am Wernzowen. Axemaster, they call me. Not the most imaginative of titles, I agree, but one should not underestimate the value of directness. I welcome your interest in our guild. The art of the marauder is used to rend, to cleave, and to destroy. It is not our way to simply outfight our adversaries. We seek to overwhelm them. A marauder must be the most powerful and enduring presence on the battlefield. We must account for the most enemies defeated. Our role in combat is that of a steel whirlwind, dealing death and destruction without equal. No doubt the question has already been put to you by Blathota, but once more shall I challenge your commitment. Are you prepared for the bloody carnage that awaits an initiate of the Marauders Guild? I am prepared for carnage. Very well, very well. Your name? Attend me well then, Will. Hold fast to this moment of dedication. The path of the Marauder is a jagged and perilous one. The blood that spills at your feet will ofttimes be your own. You stand now as a student of the axe. Let us waste no time in testing the edge of your chosen weapon. You shall wade straightway into combat that befits a novice of our discipline. Go forth and slay the bleeding, scurrying, crawling pests that plague the outskirts of Linz and Laminza. Lost lambs, wharf rats, and little ladybugs shall be your piteous adversaries today. Return to me once three of each creature have fallen to your blade. Lovely. I get a combat mission. Okay, so that's the Marauders Guild. Let's attune to it. I'm going to take a short break, and we will be back with more. Thank you so much for watching so far. I appreciate you. Leave a like, hit subscribe to stay connected, and we will be back with more next time.